जय श्री माता जी। हम सभी परम पूज्य श्री माता जी के श्री चरणों पर नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे। महामंत्र और श्री गणेश मंत्र। हम अपने दोनों हाथ अपनी गोद पर श्री माता जी की ओर रखेंगे। प्रार्थना करेंगे। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपया आप हमारे हृदय में विराजिए श्री माता जी, कृपया आप हमें संतुलन और ध्यान की स्थिति प्रदान कीजिए। अब हम अपने दाएं हाथ को भूमि माता पर रखेंगे। प्रार्थना करेंगे, परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपया आप हमें शुद्ध इच्छा, शुद्ध विद्या प्रदान कीजिए। अब हम अपने दाएं हाथ को श्री माता जी की ओर और बाएं हाथ को उठाकर आकाश की ओर करेंगे। प्रार्थना करेंगे, परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपया आप हमें निर्मल चित्त और आपके प्रति पूर्ण समर्पण प्रदान कीजिए। अब हम अपने दोनों हाथों को श्री माता जी की ओर और चित्त को सहस्त्रार पे ले जाएंगे। प्रार्थना करेंगे, परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपया आप हमारे सहस्त्रार पर विराजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपया आप हमें ध्यान का आनंद प्रदान कीजिए। इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में हम श्री माता जी के अमृत वाणी को आत्मसात करेंगे।
It is so heartening to see so many of Sahajogis seated before my eyes, which are really covered with tears of joy and tremendous happiness. You have been blessed by the grace of God to become the real baptized, the real Muslim, the real Jew, the real Christian, the real Hindu. It was to be that in England you had to establish Jerusalem. I need not tell you again and again how important is England in the play of divine. Those who are realized and have experienced know it, that this is the place, this is the country which has to circulate the spiritual powers all over the world. Even when I have traveled in Europe and other places, and I have seen so many seekers all over. In India we have thousandfold more Despite that, very special category of people are born in England. The heart of universe, where the heart has to love, has to radiate, has to circulate, carry all the dirt and filth to be cleared out again. It's nice to see how you all love me and how you have accepted my love. But I would like you to see that you have to love yourself. You have to respect yourself. You have to have self-esteem and not to be driven into crazy ideas of self-pity and guilt. The lethargy, what we call the left-sidedness, has to be thrown away, just like a shell is thrown away by a bird when it comes out of its shell, of an egg. The transformation has taken place, no doubt, but transmutation is the problem today. We have to change dramatically. All our misidentifications have to be dropped. We have to become what we have been aspiring for, which we have become. We have to assume, the assumption has to be not only mental, but is from the heart. The day it will be in England accepted from the heart, the assumption which they have achieved, assumption of the powers, assumption of the state which they have achieved. That is the day, I would say, is the real beginning of a new era for the whole humanity. The responsibility is so great, so very great, that to realize it, you have to start loving yourself, having your self-esteem, understanding yourself. Now the basic problem that the Sahajogis face in England is this. They blame everything to their ego. That this is my ego which makes me do this. This is my ego which makes me think like that. This is my ego that does this wrong. This is just the opposite. Because you want to blame your ego for everything, and that's how you do not want to go further with your progress. You think that you have been very much in the center. It's not true. To be in the center means you must understand whether you have ego or superego, which is giving you this lethargy, this dullness, this kind of vague approach to things. The whole country is suffering from that. You can see it clearly. I was surprised when I went to Portugal that it's like a dead, desolate place, as if people have left that place. They are not willing to rise. They are not going to come up. And this kind of desolate place, which is just decaying and dying, in the huge big buildings that were built there, is a reaction to the ego of the Portuguese. So there should be no reaction at all. There should be no reaction to what your forefathers have done or the way they have been very ego-oriented. On the contrary, to be on the center is to have self-esteem. To understand that you have got your realization now, that you have been blessed specially. To accept it with love towards yourself. If you are bent upon harming yourself, nobody can stop it. You have every right to do that. You have all freedom. But freedom and license are two things. Freedom has to be based on wisdom, and license is nonsense, as you understand. So, all the Sahajogis who are here, I have to just say one thing, that you have to change dramatically. Everything you change. We have certain habits we have developed. Some of the things are the blessings of the enterprises that have been floating, which are against a proper society. These enterprises have brought in funny ideas which have ruined people, basically. You know those things very well. So no more to play into these people who just want to make money out of you. First of all, the spiritual so-called people who are coming in this country to exploit you, to float some enterprises. You have to understand that God has no enterprise. The whole world is his own enterprise and his own thing. All such people who are indulging into enterprises and are harming your brothers and sisters, you have to be specially careful about them and dynamic so that you save them before they fall too low and it's impossible to get them out of the clutches of these horrible people who have come. You invaded the East in an aggressive, open manner once upon a time. Now the East is invading you in a very subtle manner. It's not they are invading you in your marketing or in your jobs. They are invading you in your brains. This has to be understood, that when these gurus and these fake people come here, they are just like the people who went from here to invade India, and they have better weapons than these people had. They are enslaving you, and they'll enslave you in such a way that you can never rise from your slavery. India could rise, but you cannot rise out of that negativity which they'll be pouring on you. So be careful as to believe into anybody who says that I'm your guide and I'm your guru and you better give me so much money. Actually, a man who lives on your money is a parasite, in simple English language. Nowadays, I have to warn you, there are many lamas who have been driven out of Tibet. Some of them were lamas, some of them have become lamas. It has become a big craze. And they have come in this country also and have started very big enterprises by giving you courses in spiritual life. Ask them how much spiritual life they have. This is very impressive to people to understand because it pampers your ego very much. Buddhism was spread by Buddha, not the ism, but Buddha's way of life. And he is the one who is the killer of your ego. The people who go to Buddha must know that your ego should not be pampered. On the contrary, he is all the time laughing the way people are ego-oriented. Now these people who are coming in the disguise of taking out your ego are putting horrible spirits into you. I have to tell you very, very frankly. And making you feel very low, as if spiritually you are much lower than them, which you are not. You should not accept their dictates, none of you. Neither you should allow anybody to accept. Go around the whole place, the whole country, and tell them the message that these thugs have come from Tibet, where they were parasites on Tibetans, made that country a very, very poor country, and now they have come in this country to bring all kinds of curses upon you. So be careful. They call themselves Rama, Lama, and all those things. I don't understand what sort of spiritual life they lead, what sort of nonsense they teach. First is self-realization. Anything that happens to you, which is beyond your control, like any vision, like anything happening to you, which is beyond your control, is not your own. Supposing a person is driving a car and car goes into a slide and falls into a khud. And he says, I had an experience. What will you say to such a thing? That the car is not in its control. But the person believes that he had a big experience because he had a big hit on his head. The things that are beyond your control are not your own. Self-realization is your own. Everything has to be in your own control. Like somebody starts jumping on the chair. He starts thinking, I'm flying. Do you fly that way? Do the birds fly that way? They know when to start and when to stop. Those who fall into these traps just start doing it by some force, and what is that force? Is the negative force, one must understand. You should be completely in control of yourself. Whatever happens to you, is it completely under your control or not? Of course, if you are driving a car and you go to a particular beautiful place, it's a beautiful experience because you have gone there. But not the way people are thinking that if you start jumping or if you start shouting or screaming and making noises is something very great. 99% of things that are happening in this country, you might call them occult, spiritualist, Pentecostalist, and all sorts of nonsense they call it by, is nothing but the spirit. You are not there. And then the reaction of it starts. And one of the first reactions, I must tell you and warn you, is cancer. Be careful of these people. Don't go near them. Tomorrow you will develop cancer and come to me, Mother, cure me. I will not. Today you stop it. I am warning you because I am your mother. And I know these things look very charming and very interesting and something sensational. Whatever is the experience outside is not all God's experience. God's experience is only one of self-realization, where you become completely in control of yourself and you feel the energy of God flowing through you. Now, the energy of God also, some people say, has to be hot. You have to feel hot. Some people feel that if you go to someone and you feel very hot energy coming from that person, is vibration. Now, any machine which goes out of order gives hot vibration. Any friction gives hot vibration. But to judge it best is for you to see what happens in surgery. Supposing there's a cancer patient sitting, and there's a mad person sitting, and a one Sahaja sitting, or a born realized sitting. The person who has a cancer will give such heat that you will have to put off your heaters. The mad person also may give such heat that you will be amazed at the way the heat is coming, or maybe sometimes such frozen hands it will have. He'll have such weaknesses. His hands will be shaking. He'll become absolutely frozen. He'll go into a trance. His eyes will become transfixed. But a realized soul, if he's a born realized, he'll get a cool breeze in a Sahaja. And you should find out what sort of sources they have come. That's how relatively you can find out the absolute. The one who is suffering from cancer has got hot. The one who has been to a spiritualist and who is suffering from possession has got hot. So the one who has got the cool breeze is the one who is really realized. On this point, many people have very funny ideas, and I want to tell you clearly today that realization means cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. It is nothing else but that. Now, to maintain this, as our habits are that we think mental activity can maintain it. It cannot. Now, this lady is wonderful. She came late and now she's going away. Why don't you sit down? Why do you want to disturb everyone? It's not the way, you see. No, you must have civic sense. This is not proper. Either you don't come, sit at the back, you must sit in front and disturb anybody. This is no sense of this. You sit at the back and you can go away. You see, this is not proper. You must have some civic sense. That is just showing off, I think, to come in front in the end and then to walk off. Yes, please, will you go out? I'm sorry, this is not the way to behave. It's not the way to behave. You have no respect for anyone. Please go out. So I have to tell you one thing, that when you come to Sahaja, you have to know that you have to find the reality. You have come here to find reality and not falsehood. And whatever is falsehood, whether you like it or not, I'm going to say it. I have to say it. Because I'm here for truth. And not for getting your votes or for any money or anything. And whatever is the truth is to be for your good. The truth is going to adorn you. The truth is going to give you joy. It is going to make you grow. It is going to make you something different. It is going to make you absolute. It is going to give you your purpose. And in this respect, if you understand Sahaja, then you will know that Sahaja Yoga is not a mental activity by any chance. It is not through mental activity we can do it. For example, somebody might say that, how are we to do it, mother? I am now possessed. I don't know how to get rid of it. By thinking I am possessed, I must get rid of it, you cannot. It is beyond your mind. If you think by saying that I am possessed, I should not be possessed, you will be cleared out, you will not. For that, you have to learn the technique of Sahaja Yoga after realization, not before. For example, this is the machine. And you put it to the mains. You must know how to handle it after putting it to the mains, the technique that is divine. Unless and until you master the technique that is divine, you will not be able to keep yourself in balance and you will not grow. So that technique one has to learn. That's why I say that transformation is very easy. To put this into the mains is very easy. Anybody can do it. But to make it work, and make it work well, and to utilize it fully, you have to know the technique. First part of it is very simple, I think. Can happen to thousands very easily. But the second part, you have to love yourself. You have to understand your value. You must know you are not here only for your sake. Not for your sake alone. Not at all. You are a cell which has to be connected to the whole, so that the whole should be substantiated, that the whole is to be helped, the whole of humanity is to be helped. You have a very, very important role to be played. So you better have your self-esteem and responsibility and understand what you have to do. After getting realization, many people who get realization just disappear because they feel very happy. That's not good. That means you have not paid full attention to yourself. You have not loved yourself. You have not understood yourself. If you have understood yourself, then you should try to go deeper into it and grow, because every seed can grow into a great tree. We have to establish proper values of family life, where the family life gives that nourishment to the children to grow into spirituality. No forbidden things are there, but through vibrations you can control. When people have these cool vibrations, they feel so happy about it. They don't want to lose it. And for that sake, they work it out, and the family systems improve. You are going to give the model to the whole world, especially the Western world. You have to give them a new model of life, which gives them a proper, happy society and an enlightened society, which knows so much more, which has eyes, which is no more blinded by false ideas All this science and all these things will drop out just like that once you know Sahaja. Because all this knowledge is just a wee part of it. In Australia, many people ask me, who came to interview me, that are your disciples all scholars? I said, no, they come from very ordinary life. None of them are scholars. Especially in Australia, people are not also so well educated. They are here because they don't have Cambridge and Oxford, I believe. And despite that, they can beat any Cambridge and Oxford fellow here in their knowledge. The knowledge is there because of the light. Say I describe this room or England to anyone who is not here, who cannot see how much his knowledge would be. But the one who has lived here, who knows it, who knows each and every part of it, knows it much more than a person who might have done his MA in India about England. It's only bookish knowledge. But here the real knowledge comes into you. The third thing is of experiencing, which is very important. What have you to experience? Many people say, Mother, what should we experience? To begin with, the thoughtless awareness that you get when the Kundalini rises about this point called as Agya Chakra. As I have told you, that Agya Chakra is one of the most important chakras we have got, where resides our Lord Jesus Christ. And why it is so important is this, because he is put there, or we can say the grace has adorned this chakra with his being, that when the Kundalini rises, he is awakened. And when he is awakened, he can suck your ego and superego, all your conditionings, all your past karmas, and all your future problems. He sucks. But that is not possible if you just ask somebody who is from a theological college to baptize. That's all artificial. That's not real. Real baptism, you see the Kundalini rising in you. It's a living process of a living God. Just like a seed sprouts, your Kundalini sprouts and you feel it on your head. Actually feel it on your head, the cool breeze coming out. And this should happen to you, otherwise it is not a realization. Now the experience, the second one you get is the cool breeze coming out here and cool breeze in the hands. Those people have a weak center here, do not get this cool breeze. Some people got it after 2 months, 3 months, makes no difference. But you get the cool breeze here, and after that, when your hands are sensitive enough, you start feeling them in the hand also. And also you can feel your centers. But those who do not feel in the hand are also very developed people, because they can feel all these centers of other people and their own within themselves. This is the physical experience, means in your central nervous system. This you feel in your conscious mind. This is the first experience. No other experience like seeing an aura around me or a light around me or something else like Buddha, Christ or anything. This is no experience. This is going out to the left or to the right. In the center, you feel the cool breeze and a cool breeze from your head. This is the physical experience you get. Now what happens to the eyes? Eyes become sparkling. They sparkle. A Sahaja Yogi has a sparkling eye. This is the physical expression of that. It cannot be anything else. If somebody you find his eyes are very dull, then you should know that his realization has gone down or he is not yet realized. Eyes are sparkling and joyous. This is only on the physical level, I would say. But in the beginning, the first experience that one starts getting is so physical and so innate, so built in, that you are amazed at it. Then you start working on other people. Say you start working on a particular person, and you say, oh, it's moving, it's coming, it's done, it's there. Then you start seeing how the person is imbalanced, how his one side is more, one side is less, how he has problems on his centers. The knowledge about the people, knowledge about everything, like say this flower arrangement. Is it all right or not? Is this all right or not? If it is all right, you will start getting vibrations from that person. Anything that is you think is beautiful may not be, might be very ugly. Through vibrations, you will know that it is beautiful. Like, say, Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa is a thing, I mean, she's not one of these modern beauties or anything. But why she's appreciated so much, if you see the vibrations of Mona Lisa's paintings are very great. So your knowledge about things starts, means discrimination increases, and you start understanding things. And this is the first experience for your brain. You start understanding people, you start understanding problems, you start understanding the problems of the whole world in a way as a spectator, as a witness. You start seeing the whole thing as a witness. And then when you start seeing that, I mean, you become its actualization. Then you start enjoying the joke, understanding the whole thing. You sometimes are amused. Oh, I was the same, and now they are the same. This rat race, this madness, and this emotional plays, and these ego trips, and everything, you start seeing it so clearly because you have been through it, and you start seeing, and it amuses. It's full of amusement and mirth and joy.
परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आज के ध्यान के लिए आपको कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद। हम सभी परम पूज्य श्री माता जी के श्री चरणों पर नतमस्तक होकर प्रणाम करेंगे और बंधन लेंगे। जय श्री माता जी।